Welcome to my YouTube channel. Now this is A Square Maths Made Easy Academy. Now I'm going to continue with difference between differentiation and what? Integration. And this time around we are going to consider what we call inverse of trigonometry. Inverse of what? Trigonometry. How to differentiate them and also how to integrate them. While the last one is how to differentiate and integrate a natural word log. This is called exponential. Are you with me now? Now watch this. Can we now observe this? The first one we are meant to consider is sec x. If you are being asked to differentiate sec x, are you with me? I want you to understand this. Now sec x by law is the same thing as 1 over this c stands as what? Cos x according to trigonometry. And invariably it has occurred to us that what we are going to use is what we call differentiation by quotient rule. You call the numerator u, call the denominator what? V. Are you with me? Then if it is that, now what do? I will now use quotient rule differentiation to differentiate this. And the formula is v du all over dx minus u dv all over dx all divided by v squared. Now can we substitute? Now the first thing we are seeing there is v. What is the value of v? It is cos what? X. Close the bracket. While the second one is du dx. Du dx is u. So differentiate u and u is 1. So if you are differentiating a constant, the result is always what? 0. Then I will introduce minus. Are you there? So the next thing I'm going to do now is to put the numerator constant, which is u. What is it? Tan 1. Then open the bracket. Then differentiate the denominator. And the denominator is cos x. If you differentiate cos x, it will give you minus sine what? X. Then divided by v squared. And what is v? V is cos what? X. Just like this. Are you with me? Now that is all. But all was squared. All was squared because v is what? Squared. If I multiply cos x times 0 is already gone. So what is remaining here now is minus 1 times minus sine x will give me sine what? X divided by. Now this cos x is of 2. Can I say cos what? X multiplied by 1 over cos x is still the same thing. Now according to trigonometry, anytime you encounter the word sine over cos, it will give you tan x. It will give you what? Tan x. While the inverse of cos will give you what? Sec what? X. So which means anytime you are asked to differentiate what? Sec x, sec what? X, the result is tan x sec x. So here the answer is tan what? X sec what? X. Are you with me now? Tan x sec what? X. But if you are asked to integrate sec x, it is a different thing. The answer is ln of, are you with me? Sec what? X plus tan what? X. That is the answer. Then finally plus what? C. In my main video, I will explain how we manage to get something like this because it is very wide. Am I communicating now? In my learning video. But this one, we are trying to understand this. That anytime you are asked to differentiate sec x, the answer is tan x sec what? X. Then if you are asked to integrate sec x, the answer is ln of what? Sec x plus tan x, then plus what? C. I am done with this. Now the next one is cosec what? X. We want to differentiate cosec what? X. I still want you to watch it. How do we differentiate cosec x? Then watch. Remember that the word cosec x, we consider the 3 letters. That is how we discover it. After the 2, the third one signifies what you are looking for. And it is x, and x is sine. So which means cosec x is 1 over sine what? X. It is already also by what? Quotient rule. What did I say is the formula? You call this u and call this v, right? Now the law is to keep the denominator constant. What is the denominator? Sine what? X. Close the what? Bracket. And differentiate the numerator, which is 1. If you differentiate 1, the result is what? 0. Then according to the formula, it is what? Minus. So the next thing is to keep what? The numerator constant. What's the numerator? 1. And differentiate the denominator, which is sine what? X. When you differentiate sine x, the result is cos what? X. Then divided by v squared. What is v? V is sine, are you there? X, but all what squared. Can we simplify this now? You agree with me that the whole of this will turn to 0. Then what remains is minus 1 times cos x will give us minus cos what? X over 1 of this, which is sine what? X. Then I will now multiply 1 over sine what? X. It's still the same thing. Because if I multiply this with this, it will give me sine x all what squared. Then can you agree with me that this is minus? According to the theorem of trigonometry, anytime you see cos x over sine x, the answer is cot x. The answer is what? Cot x. Then 1 over sine x, look at it, 1 over sine x, what is it? Cosec what? X. So which means anytime you are asked to differentiate cosec x, what is the answer? Minus cot what? X. Then cosec what? X. Do you understand? That is all. Then can we now go for integration? How do we integrate cos x? Look up. The integral of cos x is ln of, what is here? Cosec what? Cosec x. Then minus cot x. Minus what? Cot x. Then plus what? C. And that is the answer. Can we move ahead now? Then the next one is, how do we differentiate cot x and how do we integrate cot what? X. Let's start with cot x. I want you to watch. Now cot x is given like this. Remember, by trigonometry, cot means cos x all over sine what? X. This is trigonometry. And this thing has produced to us what we call quotient differentiation. And what is the rule? Can we differentiate it? Keep the denominator constant, which is sine what? X. Close the bracket. And differentiate the numerator. Here the numerator is cos x, right? When you differentiate cos x, the answer is minus sine x. Close the bracket. Then from the formula, it is what? Minus. So the next thing now we are going to do is to keep the numerator constant. And what's the numerator? Cos what? X. Close the bracket. And differentiate the denominator. The denominator is sine x. If you differentiate it, it will give you cos what? X. Then all divided by v squared, right? And what is v? V is sine what? X. Everything is all what? Squared. Can we open the brackets? Now I want you to watch. Sine x times minus sine x will give us minus sine square x. Square what? X. Then here is minus as well. Then cos x times cos x will give us cos square of what? X. Over. I have here sine x, then all what? Squared. Now what do? If you observe the denominator, you find out that something is common. And what is that thing that is common? It is minus. Then open the what? Bracket. Then as you open the bracket, what is remaining here? Sine square what? X. Minus will give us what? Plus. Then what is here is cos what? Square what? X. Close the bracket all over the denominator, which is sine x all squared. Now there is a principle. What did I say? There is a law or principle. Anytime you see sine square x plus cos square x or cos square x plus sine square x under trigonometry, the result is always 1. Always what? 1. But meanwhile, this is minus first. So the whole of this is now 1 all over sine what? X all what? Squared. Now watch. According to trigonometry, how do we write 1 over sine? 1 over sine, remember, is cosec. Is what? Cosec. So which means the answer is now minus cosec. Since it is square, we say square of what? X. So what am I trying to say? Anytime you are asked to differentiate, cot x, what is the derivative? The derivative is minus cosec square of what? X. And that is all. Are you with me now? Then can we now look at how to integrate cot x? How to integrate what? Cot x. I want you to watch. How do we integrate cot x? Now look up. Can permit me because this one is also short. Remember that we are given the word cot what? X. Call it the word x. Now before I integrate this, I have to obey the principles of trigonometry. According to trigonometric function, cot x simply means cos what? X. All over sine what? X. Don't forget, under what? The x. Now this particular integral now is called a quotient what? Function. And what is the rule of quotient function? Always differentiate the denominator. and the result of the denominator, if it corresponds with the value of the numerator, it means that the answer is ln of the denominator. Can we look at it now? Now here is sine x, right? I want to differentiate sine x. What is the answer? Cos what? X. Can you see that this cos now, here that we got, we cancel cos of the numerator. Can you see it has obeyed different integration by substitution what method? So this becomes what? What is the answer? 1 over. It becomes integral of 1 over what? Sine x under what? The x. Are you with me now? Then the law now, since it corresponds, what is the result? Ln of the denominator. And what's the denominator? Sine x plus what? C. So which means anytime you are asked to integrate cos x, what is the answer? Ln of what? Sine x plus what? C. So what do I put here? I will now go here and put ln of what? Sine what? X. Are you with me now? Then plus what? C. And that is the final what? Answer. Now the last one is what we call a natural what? Log. Natural what? Log. Anytime you are given a constant as the base and variable as the power, what you are going to do, it is obvious. The first thing is to differentiate the power, and the power is 1. Are you there now? I'll put 1. Then I will multiply and repeat the exact question. The exact question is a raised to power what? X. Are you with me? Then after that, you multiply and take the ln of the denominator. What's the denominator? A. I will now call it ln what? A. Finally, I will say 1 times a raised to power x will give me a raised to power x times ln A. What is the result now? It is now a raised to power x ln what? A. So anytime you are asked to differentiate a raised to power x, what is the answer? A raised to power x ln what? A. Do you understand? Now I want to put you right again. What if a question like this is given and you are asked now to find the derivative or dy dx of this function? You don't need to panic. All you need to do first is to differentiate 2x. If you differentiate 2x, the result is what? 2. That's the first thing. Then you multiply. Next is to repeat the question. The question is a raised to power 2x. You equally what? Multiply. Finally, take the ln of the base. It will not give you ln what? A. At the end, what is the answer? 2 times this will give us 2a all to the power of 2x. Then ln what? A. And that is what it means. Are you with me now? Then permit me now to integrate. Now, how do we integrate a raised to power x under the x? Look at the secret. The only thing that you are going to do is to introduce the question, which is a raised to power what? X. Are you with me? Then over. That's the difference. Then the next thing is to differentiate x. X will give you what? 1. Then finally take the ln of the question, which is ln what? A, and introduce plus what? C. Can you see at the end now the result is a raised to power x all over 1 times ln A will give you ln A, then plus what? C. Can you see the difference between differentiation and what? Integration. So the answer now is a raised to power x. Are you with me? All over what? Ln A, then finally plus what? C. Then in summary, then we round up on this. What if you are given something like this? Integrate 4 to the power of 2x now under what? Dx. Now watch. This is a constant, right? Now the first thing is this. We are going to write the question, which is 4 raised to power 2x. Are you with me now? Then we now divide. Then after the division, the next thing we are going to do is to differentiate the power. And the power is 2x, right? If you differentiate 2x, the result is what? 2. Now what do we do? 2 will be here. Finally, take the ln of the base here. I'll call it ln what? 4. And that is the final answer. Then I'll put plus what? C. Do you understand? But peradventure, if this thing is what? Differentiation. Look up. 4 raised to power 2 what? X. The law say differentiate the power. What is the power? 2x. If you differentiate it, it will give you 2, right? Then you multiply. Write the question. The question is 4 raised to power 2x. Then you multiply. Finally, take the ln of 4. I will now call it the ln 4. Then in summary, this will give us 2 bracket what? Are you with me now? Then 4 raised to power what? 2x. Close the bracket. Then ln what? 4. So this is the answer. Have I made myself clear? So this is exactly what you should know. And this particular difference between differentiation and integration talks about what? Inverse of trigonometry. What did I say? the reciprocal of trigonometry, inverse of it. Am I communicating now? So that is all. So, and the next one, which is the last one, is one that has to do with natural law. Now, this is where we are going to end our discussion. Now, see you in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, A Square Maths Made Easy Academy. And don't forget to comment in the comment section. Please share it and like. Thank you. Once again, respect.